Alrighty, in this video, I'm going to finish 15.6, which was solving radical equations. All right, so we left off, we did number 1 and 2, so let's talk about number 3. So you might have equations that look like this. Negative x squared plus x plus 12 minus 3 equals x. So if you recall, the first task you have to do is isolate the radical. So I'm going to add 3 on both sides. So I'm left with the square root of negative x squared plus x plus 12 equals x plus 3. The first two we did was already isolated, so if it's not, you do need to isolate it. Then I can now square both sides. So that square root and square root cancel, so now I'm left with negative x squared plus x plus 12. Remember, x plus 3 squared means x plus 3 times x plus 3, and you can either box method or FOIL it, but x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 3x times x is 3x, so 3x plus 3x gives me 6x, and 3 times 3 gives me 9. Now I'm going to set this equal to 0 because it's a quadratic, so since this one's smaller, I'm going to move everything over to the right. So I'm going to add x squared. Subtract x, subtract 12. This gives me 0 equals 2x squared plus x minus 3. And then now remember on the t-chart, you're trying to multiply to a times c. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then add to your b, which is 1. So that's 2 and 3. If you make 2 negative and 3 positive, that give you positive 1. So this will give me x minus 2, x plus 3. Divide by 2 and simplify. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. 3 divided by 2 cannot simplify, so I move the 2 to the front. So I now get x minus 1 and 2x plus 3. I'll then set each one of those equal to 0. So x minus 1 equals 0. So if I add 1, I get x equals 1. Then if I do 2x plus 3 equals 0, subtract 3, I get 2x equals negative 3 divided by 2. So I get x equals negative 3 halves. But remember, we have to check these to make sure they actually work. So if I come back, I'll check x equals 1. And I'll do that by going negative 1 squared. Notice the negative's on the outside because I'm only wanting to square 1. Plus 1 plus 12 minus 3. Does that equal 1? So I can see that if I plug this into the calculator, this will give me 1 squared is 1. That's negative 1. Negative 1 plus 1 will be 0. So that will cancel out. And then I'll end up with the square root of 12 minus 3 equals 1. With the square root of 12, that breaks down into 4 and 3 and 2 and 2. So I can take a 2 out. So I'll be left with 2 square roots of 3 minus 3 equals 1. That is not true. So x equals 1 will not answer. Now, you don't have to do that by hand. You can simply type that in the calculator. So now let's try the other one. So now we'll do the x equals negative 3 halves. So I'll do negative 3 halves squared plus negative 3 halves plus 12 minus 3, and we'll determine if that equals 1. So that'll give me negative 9/4 minus 3 halves. So if I multiply both these by 2, that would become 4 and 6. Yep. And then negative 9 minus 6 would give me negative 15 over 4. Plus this 12 that's been kind of riding around. And then minus 3. Again, I recommend you just type in the calculator. I need to multiply this one by 4. So that would give me 48 48 plus negative 15 is, is that 33 over 4? Minus 3. I'm really thinking this isn't going to equal 1 either. Trying to think I made a mistake somewhere further along. Because I did. I'm doing a lot of work for no reason. Gotta love that. It's easier when we do this together because y'all can tell me when I make mistakes. But I made a mistake pretty early on. Because 6x minus x is actually 5x. And so now if I'm trying to add up to 5 and multiply to negative 6, it's going to be 1 and 6, which will be a negative 1, positive 6. This is x minus 1, x plus 6, divide by 2. 2 goes to the front. This becomes 3. So this will become 2x minus 1 and x plus 3. Set these equal to 0. I get 2x minus 1 equals 0, so I'll add 1. So 2x equals 1, then divide by 2. Running out of room, so x equals 1/2. And this is x plus 3 equals 0, so x equals negative 3. So now I'll come check it again. So I'll get x equals 1/2. That's why we checked, though. If I never checked, I would have assumed I was right the whole time. All right, so 1/2 actually gives me negative 1/4 plus 1/2 plus 12. This would be times 2. So that'd make this 4, and that make that 2. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3/4 plus 12 over 1 times 4 times 4. That'd give me 48. No, where'd that plus come from? Hold on. See? Plus 1/2, not negative. So again, I still multiply by 2. Eventually, I won't make a mistake no more. And this would actually give me 1/4 plus 12 over 1 times 4. So 4 and 48. And then this right here would give me, and it's not equal to 0 either. Goodness, man. This will equal 1/2. All right, so we'll see if it does. So this will give me 1 plus 48, which is 49 over 4. So that's this entire square root. I was dealing with the square root the entire time. And then this minus 3. Square root of 49 is 7, and square root of 4 is 2. So now the square root goes away. So now I need to figure this one out. And then 7 minus 6 does give me 1, and 1/2 does in fact equal 1/2. So that one works. Let's see how negative 3 worked out. So negative 3, this will give me negative 3 squared. And again, you can type it straight into the calculator. So this will give me 9. So negative 9 minus 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 12 is 0. So this whole thing will go away. And I do, in fact, get negative 3 equals negative 3. So that one worked out. All right. So then that one right there is a good one. but you always have to check. All right, so let's look at another one. Let's look at number 4. We have the square root of x plus 5 equals -9. All right, so it's already isolated. So I can go straight into squaring it. This gives me x plus 5. -9 squared is 81. I'll subtract 5. 81 minus 5 is 76. So now I'll check it. All right, so this is going to be the square root of 76 plus 5 equals -9. That gives me 81 equals -9, but that is 9 equals -9, which is not true. So in this case, there is no solution. Again, that's why we check. Let's check another one. Let's try number 5. Number 5 is the square root of 3x plus 4 equals 2x plus 1. It's isolated, so I'm going to go ahead and square both sides. So this gives me 3x plus 4. Remember, this means 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, and you can full or box method. But 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x, and 1 times 2x is 2x, and 2x plus 2x is actually 4x. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So this is a quadratic, so I do need to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 3x, subtract 4, subtract 4. So I get 0 equals 4x squared plus x minus 3. Figuring out two numbers that multiply -12 but add up to 1. So that's going to be 3 and 4 and make that a negative. So -3, +4. Now divide by that 4. Can't simplify, so the 4 goes over here. So this is 4x minus 3. That becomes 1, so it's going to be x plus 1 equals 0, equals 0. I factor this out. So 4x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Add 3. So 4x equals 3, divide by 4. So x equals 3/4. And this one's -1. Now it's time to check it again. You're more welcome to use a calculator. So x equals 3/4. That gives me 3 times 3/4 plus 4 equals 2 times 3/4 plus 1. All right, so that would give me 9/4 plus 4. Put that over 1, multiply by 4. That give me 4 and 16. 9 plus 16 is square root of 25 over 4, which is 5/2. Let's see what this gives me. This gives me 6/4, because you just multiply straight across, plus 1 over 1 times 4 times 4. So this becomes 4 and 4. 6 plus 4 is 10 over 4, and 10/4 simplifies down to 5/2. So x equals 3/4 is a good one. Let's try x equals -1. 3 times -1 plus 4 equals 2 times -1 plus 1. 3 times -1 is -3 plus 4 is 1. Square root of 1 does give me 1. 2 times -1 is -2. -2 plus 1 is -1. Not true. So only 3/4 would be my answer. All right, so these are some different ones. And want to make sure you have plenty of examples. So looking at number 6, we get the square root of 2x plus 5 equals square root of x plus 7. Both square roots are isolated, so I can go straight into squaring both situations. So I'm left with 2x plus 5 equals x plus 7. And now I have a regular linear equation. So I'm going to move the smaller x over, subtract x. I'm going to go ahead and move this constant over because I know that's what I'm going to want to do on the next step. So it gives me x equals 2, and then I have to check it. So we're going to check x equals 2 now. So this gives me the square root of 2 times 2 plus 5 equals the square root of 2 plus 7. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 2 plus 7 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So that is a good one. All right. Let's try another one, and they're going to kind of get a little bit harder. I think this one we're about to see is probably the hardest one, hardest type of question you can see on these types. So again, just a fair warning, number 7 is the hardest question when it comes to radicals. So here we go. 2 square root of x minus the square root of 3x minus 11 equals 2. So what I'm going to do here is I have 2 square roots on both sides. I don't want to be multiplying square roots together. So I'm going to move the smaller square root over so that when I square each side, I can get rid of the big one. So I'm going to move the smaller square root over. So minus 2 square roots of x, since it's a positive, I'll subtract over here. I cannot subtract those 2 because it's attached to a square root. So my first goal is to get it to this point. Now, this one is somewhat isolated, but I don't need to care too much about this negative. You'll see what happens. But I think I'm ready to square both sides. So a negative squared is positive, and then the square and the square root would cancel, and I'm left with 3x minus 11, and then equals, and then remember this right here ends up being 2 minus 2 square roots of x times 2 minus 2 square roots of x. So you can box method this, you can fold it, however you want to do it. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times negative 2 square roots of x is negative 4 square roots of x. Negative 2 square root of x times negative 2 is negative 4 square roots of x. And negative 2 square root of x times negative 2 square x, the two negative 2's will make a positive 4, and the square root of x times square root of x would just be x. Now I'll combine like terms, so 3x minus 11 equals 4 minus 8 square roots of x, because I combine these two, plus 4x. Now I want to isolate this one, this square root. So I'm going to subtract 4, subtract 4x. So this gives me negative x minus 15. That goes away. I get negative 8 square root of x, and that goes away. You can go ahead and divide by negative 8 if you want. I don't, because I don't want to have to deal with fractions. So now at this point, I'm going to square it again to get rid of this square root. So again, this right here would just mean that I have negative x minus 15 times negative x minus 15. Negative 8 squared is 64. The square and the square root would cancel, and I'm left with just the x. This again helps me avoid the fractions. So negative x times negative x is x squared. Negative x times negative 15 is positive 15x. Negative 15 times negative x is positive 15x. And negative 15 times negative 15 is positive 225. I feel. Fifteen times 15. Yeah, 225. All right, so I actually have to take a pause here. I'll come right back. All right, sorry about that. And so then I'm gonna combine like terms here. So x squared plus 15x plus 15x is 30x plus 225 equals 64x. Subtract 64x. And you get x squared, what is that, minus 34x plus 225. Let's figure out what these two factors are going to be. Oh man, I know 15 and 15 gives me, let me get a calculator. That'd give me 30. So let's see. What is 16? No, because I need 34. Okay, so let's do this. What's 225 divided by 11? Nope. 225 divided by, won't go 10. We'll do 12. No, what about 225 divided by 13? No, 225. Divide that by 9. Okay. 9 and 25. There it is. 34. Whew. Okay, had to go through all my factors. 9 and 25, make them both negative. That actually multiplies to a positive 225 and adds up to negative 34. There's no leading coefficient. So therefore, x minus 9 equals 0. X minus 25 equals 0. Add 9. X equals 9. Add 25. X equals 25. All right, but you have to check it. So here's where a lot of students will go wrong. Is they'll do all this work. They're so excited. They got the answer. They're done. They don't want to do this problem no more. And then they miss out on a question that could have been right or wrong. So I go x equals 9, and I'm going to check it. So it's going to be 2 square roots of 9 minus square roots of 3 times 9 minus 11 equals 2. Well, square root of 9 is 3. 2 times 3 would be 6. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 minus 11 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 6 minus 4 does equal 2. So x equals 9 is an answer. Now let's try x equals 25. So this becomes 2 times square root of 25 minus 3 times 25 minus 11 equals 2. Square root of 25 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 25 is 75. 75 minus 11 is 64. Square root of 64 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. So that one works out too. But again, you always have to check. All right, I want to do one more with you. It's not as intense, but I want to make sure you can still do the basics, and then we'll call this one a wrap. All right, so number 8 deals with a cube. So this is a cube root of 3x plus 3 plus 2 equals 5. Just like with the square root, you have to isolate the cube root. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. Five minus 2 is 2, or 3, sorry. And then instead of squaring it, we're actually going to cube each side, because that would be the opposite of a cube root. And 3 cubed would be 3 times 3, which is 9, times 3 again, which is 27. Subtract 3 on both sides, so you get 3x equals 24. Divide by 3. Oop, did the math in my head. Divide by 3, and you get x equals 8. But you have to check it. So 3 cube root of 3 times 8 plus 3 plus 2 equals 5. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 3 is 27. Cube root of 27 is actually 3. 3 plus 2 does in fact equal 5. So x equals 8 is your answer. All right, I know that was a lot, but if you have questions, feel free to email me. Other than that, that's all I have for today. All right, other than that, bye for now.